ready.
All right, we'll call this meeting to order at 7:02. Can we have a roll call, please?
Ms. Chaparro.
Here.
Ms. Garabet.
Here.
Mr. Hawk.
Present.
Thank you. Ms. Jacobs Rohan.
Here.
Mr. Paris.
Present.
Mr. Pagoda.
Here.
Ms. Schutz.
Here.
Ms. Siri.
Here.
Ms. Wilton.
Here. Can we rise for the pledge of allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, so we first have a motion to approve the study session meeting minutes for March 10th, 2025, and the regular voting meeting minutes for March 17th, 2025. Do I have a motion?
I'll make that motion. Stephanie?
Second, Pagoda.
Any discussion? Okay, hearing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Ayes have it. Treasurer's report. Okay. 2B, motion for approval of the treasurer's report as presented. 1, general fund. These are all for March 2025. General fund. 2, athletic fund. 3, food service fund. 4, capital improvement fund. 5, student activities fund. 6, PA municipal real estate collections. 7, MBM delinquent real estate tax collections. 8, Keystone collections, earned income and local service tax collections. And 9, general fund approval of bills, fund 10. Do I have a motion?
Paris, so moved.
Stephanie, second.
Any discussion? Okay, hearing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And abstentions? Ayes have it. Welcome, lots of students, it seems like, end of year, getting in your meetings in, it's great to see you. And welcome community members, and staff, faculty. I did want to say a quick thank you to all the parents that came last week. I wish I could have been here, but it's really important that we get the input from the community on all the issues that happen in our school district, but especially one that's a big change, looking at the change in start times for the school. So Dr. English has put out the survey to the parents. It's a little bit more detailed than last time, so hopefully everybody's gonna get a chance to do that. It's gonna stay open for a little while, probably till after the break, so encourage people to get on and get their input in. He's also gonna be putting out a survey to the staff and also to the students. So students, you do your surveys too. Tell us how important, what your opinion is on it. It's important for us to know, so. On that note, we will move forward here. So, are you doing your paper?
Yeah. Okay. Is that?
No, that's fine. All right, Ms. Lubert's going to give us a quick budget update.
Sure.
I just wanted to give a quick update. I presented to the board a spreadsheet based on just a 30,000-foot budget update. We have a lot of moving parts going on with this budget. I just finished up my meetings the end of last week, getting all of the budget requisitions in. We just finished up our last RESPA contract meeting, so we're ready for ratification of the union support contract, which is all of our paras and our secretaries, our custodians, and our tech department. So there's some calculations that need to go into that. The governor has not finalized his budget and probably won't for some time to come. We have proposed numbers, which are the least amount of subsidy amounts that districts have seen in 10+ years. So we're looking at not a lot of money coming from the state budget into our coffers this year. We have some things to review. We have decided to bring our communications that was recently with the Allegheny Intermediate Unit to in-house. We have a retirement of an administrator, and right now we have 4 teacher retirements on the books. We're still waiting. There's some other items to consider in retirements. We haven't received a couple other retirements that we are expecting here within the next month. Those are the reductions to the budget. So the increases to the budget, as you know, previously we've had a part-time athletic director. We are grateful to have Mr. Carter, and we welcome him and hope that he'll be happy here for years to come, and making him a full-time athletic director, which I think the district deserves. We do a great job with all of the kids. We're planning on bringing our communications that was with the IU in-house. That will save a small amount of money, but it will be a small savings. We have a required mandate. It was actually put in place last year, but we had a waiver because it was brought in at like the last minute of the budget season, and we didn't have time to go out and do our due diligence with regards to security in the district. This district has never had security guards, so we wanted to make sure we did it right. Dr. English and I met several times with several people who did a lot of work in making sure that Riverview did it right the first time. We have an outsourced security guard for the high school that will be starting at the beginning of next year, and we're going to have a security guard that roves between the 2 elementary buildings on no set schedule. So kids won't know they're there, parents won't know they're there, and anyone who might bring harm to this district won't know when they're going to be there. We're going to outsource the technology position. We did have a retirement of our tech director, so we found an amazing company that I personally have worked with in the past to bring them on. That's going to be a slight savings for this school year. We also have been recommended to potentially hire a new tech person, depending upon what retirements we receive over the next 2 to 6 months, and see what in fact the district needs with regards to tech. We are going to replace 3 teachers that have retired. Sometimes districts see positions that retire and they don't necessarily need replaced. These are positions that the administration believes that needs to be replaced. With all of those cost savings and all of the hirings that we need to do in-house and outsource, that's close to $100,000 savings in funds for the school year. But there are other things that we have to consider. The dollar amount doesn't bring into the account the custodial retirements. So that's a little bit more money. We also have a 5.7% and a 3% increase to our health care and dental and vision. All told, that 5% and 3% is under $200,000, but it's a significant amount nonetheless. I will bring to the board next month, we have a transportation contract. Our transportation company, who has serviced the district, I believe, since the mid-2015, 2017, around there. They are, no? Later than that? 19? 19?
Probably 20.
Pre-pandemic?
20, yeah,
Okay.
just pre-pandemic.
Okay.
This one.
So they've serviced us about 5 years. Again, the district, we're a walking district. We have 3 big buses that transport our kids from Verner to the high school. We have special needs runs. We have some charter parochial runs that are mandatory. That transportation contract, they came to me a couple weeks ago and asked if we would be willing to do a redo for 1 more year. Allegheny Transit is combining with another transportation company, and they are trying to make sure that they retain the districts that they have, the business that they have, and they want to start upgrading equipment and vehicles, which, you know, that helps our bottom line as well, because that affects our E-Tran report. The the newer the vehicle, the more miles with kids on it, which we're 1.5 square, right? So there's not a lot of miles to be had, but with 3 buses and the kids from Verona, you know, we get back in subsidy what we can. But they're requesting that we renew the contract for 1 additional year. I know we did it last year and we said we were gonna go out to RFP this year, but with everything going on with the support contract, and I just did a food service RFP, which we're approving tonight, which has been going on since February. So that's something that we'll be considering. That will not be a cost increase to this budget if the board approves that. The common level ratio in Allegheny County, that has gone down significantly several years ago. I think I'm like a broken record every year. Common level ratio, when someone purchases a home and say they purchase that home for $100,000, the assessed valuation of that property used to be 87%. It's now down to, is it 54, 57 last year, and I believe it's going to 50, sorry, I have it on one of these documents. It's 54.7, I believe. But with that said, now someone who purchases a $100,000 home, they're only being assessed at 57% or 54% of the cost of the home. We have very little in subsidy increases. We have contract negotiations, which I stated earlier, where they're going to be ratified. We have the teacher's contract negotiations. You have Act 1 and administrative. Our reduction to the Act 1 index went from 5.3 last year down to 4%, so the max we're able to raise taxes is 0.99 mils. It's actually 0.9976. The Precision HR contract, they reached out to me last week or a week and a half ago and asked if we could renew the contract, which if you recall last year, I negotiated down the rates that we were paying, and they've asked for a 2-year freeze, a 2-year contract based on those rates from last year. So I think that's highly beneficial to the district. We have had significant assessment appeals. Since 2022, our assessment appeals have reduced our income by about $450,000. As I mentioned last month, I think I mentioned it last month, we had one assessment appeal for a property here in Oakmont that sits empty. Someone purchased, and that reduction alone reflected a refund to the buyer of around $300,000. That's a huge hit to our budget. I can tell you I did not have that on my dance the last thing I do want to just put in place. I know that our budget, the majority of our budget and the majority of most school district budgets in the Commonwealth are contractual obligations. Your salaries and benefits hold about 70% of your entire budget. We don't have a lot of wiggle room. We don't spend a lot of supplies. You know, most of our items are curriculum that we purchase annually. When Neil does a redo of curriculum based on the schedule. I'm highly concerned with technology as it is, and I know that, you know, we've seen it's going to be this tariff, it's not going to be this tariff. That's a moving part that I can't even begin to estimate where it's going to land, but my job as your business manager is to be ready to pay for the needs of the district. So that's my book, supplies, technology, and the possible tariffs are how I'm going to round out I think we've done a good job of moving monies around. There are still some moving parts, and I look forward to presenting next month in detailed fashion what I've come up with.
Who is Allegheny Transit merging with? Does that makes a bit of a difference?
It's a company from out east.
They're saying it should benefit us.
Yeah, it's a larger company.
Yeah.
Because Allegheny Transit's kind of a mom and pop.
Oh, no, I know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
You're saying by being purchased by somebody bigger, will their costs go up? Is that what
I
you're
think
thinking?
they're combining.
Oh.
Our goal obviously is for
Out
costs
east
not to
where?
go up.
Because sometimes we have trouble with them and they're just down the street
Yeah.
getting here on time. and getting their buses situated.
Well, you know, they're, at least for this first year on this renewal, they're saying that,
There's gonna be some hiccups.
not hiccups. They said, you know, they're gonna be upgrading things and, they're claiming that services should be, at least for this first year, no cost, and it should be better.
They
They have
have,
bigger systems in place and
Well,
sort
if they're
of like
purchasing, they
improvement
have-
plans and better purchase,
Yeah.
better
Tri-County
ability to
Transit,
purchase.
Tri-County Transportation.
Tri-county.
Tri-County Transportation.
Yeah.
They did have a meeting with us a while back, whenever they combined. And they were talking a lot about how they plan on upgrading the camera systems in all of the buses. That's a big thing, especially in this building. We have some issues sometimes, and some of the cameras, you know, maybe not working, but they said they're.
Well, they work, it just takes
Yeah,
a long
it
time
takes a
to
long
get
time
the
to get
video
them.
feeds, so they're saying that, you know, some of the systems you're gonna put in place should be better.
I'll be happier for better technology, but I'd be
Northern
happy with
Cambria. That's where they're out of.
Northern
the
Cambria.
efficiency, hopefully.
Yeah.
Better.
Out near Harrisburg.
Yeah, that's what
Yeah.
they're.
Any
So-
questions about?
Yeah, for the in-house communications, oh, sorry.
They're gonna be managing this company here from out east, from by Harrisburg.
No, they're in
They're
Northern
gonna come-
Cambria.
Yeah, they'll be
Yeah.
Allegheny Transit.
They're
and
still
Allegheny.
gonna work out of the same campus, but they have like sort of new
They've
management
merged.
that's coming in to sort of like,
So Allegheny Transportation's not like going away.
no,
They're gonna
Allegheny
be-
Transit,
Like,
all their
think-
employees are
Think like
still there,
Dell
their
Yep.
fleet is
bought out
still
by
there.
Apple. Like,
No,
Apple's
I
still there.
understand that. I have reservations, but that's.
Well, let us know.
Other questions?
The in-house communications, what was the drawback of continuing with the AIU?
I loved the person that we were working, but the in-house option can give our administrator, we're gonna have one of our administrators do it. We'll save some money, and I'm more comfortable with having somebody in-house that is here all the time to make that work.
So are administrators gonna go to like all of these events and stuff?
Yeah, same,
They are already there,
same services.
so if they're already there, why not?
Yeah.
Who's that?
Dr. Turk.
Poor man, he's never gonna go home.
It's his idea,
It was his idea.
He actually brought it up as an idea.
his idea.
And I would say too that we've come really far on the communications front, like since we first started with the AIU, and I would say that
I'm just nervous that if we're gonna, kind of go backwards.
well, I mean, I guess my point is that it's an easier, I don't want to say it's easier, but like, I guess it is an easier, more plug and play situation now than it once was. Like when we, early on had Junior working with us from the AIU, I feel like between he and Neil and I, like we kind of corrected a lot of things or got things like fixed up in a way that like was a lot more professional and just streamlined and consistent, and here's how we do everything, like kind of make a roadmap for it. So a lot of that's been updated now, and so it's a little bit more like, oh, we have our systems now ready to go, and like we have the roadmap, whereas I wouldn't necessarily have been a fan of this idea way back then, because there was just like too much to work on, whereas now it seems like a little bit more like we're kind of in a maintenance mode, where like, unless there's something new and like wild that comes up, but like we even have more platforms now with added Twitter, added YouTube, like we have more platforms to manage. However, it's all kind of set up in a pretty easy fashion now. So I think for somebody internal to just take that and be like, oh, here's, Neil can just say, here's how we do this, here's how we do that, rather than somebody
also a
starting
person
totally
that,
from the beginning.
And they
It's
know
not-
and he knows what's like going on.
I don't
whereas
discredit
AIU
that, but
coming in.
I'm saying that if he's overseeing the whole junior high, and then we throw that on, it's a lot.
But he's the
he
one
wants
who
to
brought
do
it up, and he's
I
already
get that,
active.
but
But he's already
sometimes,
there.
sometimes we have to also be like told, no for our own sake, right? Because we can't tell ourselves no. So that's my fear, is that we're just adding more and more hats to our current staff members when we have plenty of things that do need to get done, you know what I mean? Like,
Well, it doesn't have to be a forever thing, like if for some reason it's not working out, it's not like the AAU is going somewhere.
no,
You know,
I
we
just
could
don't
always go
wanna-
backwards if we needed to and say, you know what, we thought this was gonna work, it's actually maybe too much, you know, or whatever, and go back to the communications folks that the AIU offers, you know, and work with them again. There's nothing
If-
wong with working
If
with
they
them,
have
but,
availability.
yeah,
Like,
I mean, yeah.
that's, we're
They
separating
will
our
take money.
contract. No, I can tell you that if we don't have the availability to give you that contracted space, we can't do that. So then, it's the same thing, and I just think in.
So now is this a
it's like-
conflict of interest because you're on the board and you're trying to push the AIU?
Nope.
I don't get any remuneration for any of that, and I also vote an abstention for those contracts, so, bye. But, I think, but I'm bringing it up, I think it matters.
Yeah, I think the other purpose
Thank
it
you.
serves is to provide some additional, compensation to an administrator that we really respect. That we wanna keep happy and keep them here.
Let them
you know.
hustle.
Look, that I'm for.
Well, and
Yeah,
I
10 out
know
of 10.
when we discussed this, my main point was to like put that administration put parameters on things. So that like your concern of like you're working too much.
Yeah,
Like there are
uh-oh.
people that are in attendance that can deliver information or
Oh,
videos and things like that to
Oh,
be
yeah.
used. It's not, you know.
We do that, we
there's
do
ways
that
to
with the
adapt
AIU
it,
now,
right?
Yeah.
I don't expect, our point person to be at every single thing,
We
Right,
just
yeah,
not
the
do it.
idea was
No,
fine,
no, I
right?
know.
That's
So
not
I'll,
reason.
I'll tape it, I'll take some pictures, I'll send it. There's sometimes I post things that are,
Maybe we
But I
should
just
be a
think-
part of communication, that each board member go to.
No thanks, no thanks, but I just think,
Not it.
like, it's hard to get Neil to like take a day off sometimes, so like, you know what I mean, I don't wanna see our administrators fall into that trap.
that's good, I appreciate that.
Because
Work
I think it's easy to care about this place, I don't think that it's hard at all, right? I think that's why we're all here, so I just fear that if you give too much of yourself to one thing, then everything gets stretched. Because we only have 24 hours, we all have the same amount.
Well, I just to make sure we lay the expectations that like we're excited that he wants to do this and take it on. We're gonna try to make it sure it's separate from his other duties, and if at any point it starts to become too much, then please raise a hand to let us know, and we can look at, other
Or maybe we
options.
can even look at volunteering, like, especially because like I know the seniors need volunteer hours, so talking with the school, or the yearbook team for those for the seniors that are in yearbook or something, and helping them, write specific things or what have you, so that it, I don't know.
Yeah, we currently have that crossover now where, definitely the students can be at some things that we're not, so I rely on the students often to just send me, a few pictures or.
I mean, can't we just like trust that Dr. Turk means what he says? Like, I mean, if he's an adult, he can speak for himself. He's saying he wants to do it, right? And I assume, that's cool. I assume that he would, in kind, say that he doesn't want to do something, right? I mean, it's projecting. If we say, I don't want to do it, so why would somebody else want to do it? He's saying he wants to do it. He might just want more experience. He said he wants to do it. Sort of, that's it. You just take a person on their word.
He's also making a little bit extra for probably already being in a lot of these events anyway. I'll ask, I say if he just has to help us write about it and publicize it and take photos and put it out on all the platforms and help Neil make sure everything's updated.
I'm hoping his level of meticulous work will benefit the district. I will keep an eye, I mean, what you said, Antonio, I'll keep an eye on it.
Make sure he
sure
feels
that he's
supported.
not like,
Overwhelmed or
Yeah.
whatever.
burning it from both ends. I'll try to keep a close eye on him and help him out if he needs it for sure. Those are good points. Other discussion about Ms. Lubert's?
And the other thing I would add is that we are having the budget committee meeting on May 7th at 1 PM in the administrative offices. So public is welcome to that, so if you want to come, you are welcome to join us. So.
Also, speaking of someone that's putting in more time and probably not getting compensated, the full-time AD role, who's here way more hours than part-time, we all know that. So compensating that more accurately, because obviously he wants to be here, wants to attend the events and sporting events and cover those things, so it makes sense to make that the actual full-time role that it really is,
Thank you.
not just like on paper.
Thank you,
We
thank you.
appreciate you.
Yeah,
Definitely, I appreciate it.
recognize the good work, so.
Good with that? Okay, so at each open board meeting, prior to official action by the board, an opportunity is provided for public comment in accordance with law and board procedures and policy. As such, we move into the first hearing of citizens, which is designated for agenda topics only. If you would like to speak, please sign in, come up to the microphone, state your name and address, and please keep your comments to 3 minutes or less. Please keep in mind that the board does not typically respond to public comment, but rather takes the hearing into consideration for future governance. And also please realize that all comments and meetings are recorded. Anybody have anything for the agenda items?
It's actually really not, it's more of a question, but hi, Tara DeLeo, 623 Maryland Ave. You mentioned the budget meeting is at 1 PM. Is it recorded for those of us that will be working at that time?
It's recorded and does it stream or is it just recorded?
I don't know, I mean,
It streams and it's recorded.
great, that was really all I have, thank you.
And we'll post the minutes too.
Anyone else? Okay, so we will move into motions for approval. Mr. Hawk?
Got it. 5A, motion to approve the following change orders and/or invoices in conjunction with the Riverview Capital Improvement Project. Number 1, recommend approval of capital project for asphalt repair, sealing, and painting by Smullen Asphalt and Concrete LLC in the amount of $16,824.31 as presented. This includes the district parking areas at 10th Street, the high school, and Verner, and the Verner playground area. Number 2, recommend approval of the capital project for fence repairs and placement at Verner Elementary and 10th Street Elementary by North American Fence Company in the amount of $9,580 as presented. Do I have a motion?
I'll make that motion to go.
Schultz will second.
Any discussion?
Is this work to be done?
Hearing none. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Ayes have it. 5B, motion to approve the following contracts and agreements subject to final review and approval of the solicitor. Does anyone need any of these read separately? Okay, number 1, 3-year agreement with Summit Fire and Security with an annual cost of $2,575 with percentage increase per year if applicable, replacing old contract with Johnson Controls. Johnson Controls term date 3/18/25 as presented. Number 2, 3-year proposal from CM Regent Sun Life for life, accidental death, and disability insurance effective 7/1/25 through 6/30/28. Number 3, 3-year proposal for OZ Enterprises for building automation systems and HVAC controls effective 7/1/25 through 6/30/28 at $14,328 yearly. 4, 2025 extended school year agreement with the Western Pennsylvania School for the Deaf for Student X effective July 7, 2025 through July 24, 2025. Number 5, 2025 extended school year agreement with Holy Family Specialized Learning for Student X effective July 7th through July 25th, 2025. Number 6, food service management contract renewal with Metz Culinary Management effective for 2025-2026 school year as per the term of the RFP with a guaranteed profit of $50,000. Number 7, yearly contract upgrade with Comply EduLink for educational tracking services at an annual rate of $6,374 as presented. And number 8, recommend approval for the contracted technology agreement with West EQ Educational Technology Management effective May 1st, 2025 through April 30th, 2026 in the amount of $195,000 subject to the final review and approval of the solicitor. Do I have a motion?
I'll make that motion, Stephanie.
Jacobs second.
Any discussion?
Go ahead. Mine's not important. Go ahead.
I'm sure it's important. The Mets culinary one, were we having them come in to speak about the food options and stuff as well, so?
They're not. No.
Not today,
I got a
no.
question about pickles.
They'll come in.
A question about pickles.
Write your
Sodium content.
write your pickle question down, and we're trying to get them in
You gotta ask
for
them about
May 5th.
Pickles.
Lisa said there's no pickles with their lunch.
I have a quick question on this. It's
Really? That's what she said.
on number 2, this is why I like the Oxford comma. Is it accidental death
Yes.
or is it accident, comma?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's
Accidental death?
accidental.
Okay.
And
That's
back to
Oh,
the.
no, I'm sorry. It's
Accident
life,
death.
accident, death, and disability.
So
There's
it
a
should
comma
be,
missing.
yeah,
Accident, comma.
So that would be your cut and paste.
Yeah, that's my cut and
Okay.
paste, sorry.
And
yeah, because Brian read it as accidental death.
It changes
So-
right now.
Accident,
Right, because I
comma,
didn't
death.
have a comma, Roger, it got me.
Brian, punctuation is important, my man. Why we're all here.
It makes a difference.
There are some.
There's a $1 million comma.
Yeah.
That's the first case you learned about it.
Sheila, can you give just for the public to hear about the Quest Tech, what that actually is?
So,
I'm sure
so
they
at my
will.
previous district, our technology director left the district. The way we actually interviewed Quest Tech. They went way above and beyond any of the other companies that came in and told us they could do everything. Quest Tech's been in business for decades. They've worked with a lot of districts in the West Hills of Pittsburgh. They're located in Moon Township. They are a technology management firm. They actually work in education. They're all about putting education in the classrooms, which I think since COVID and the amount of technology that the tech department has to oversee, it's kind of gotten away from them in what we're really trying to do, which is put more technology. And I'm not an educator, but I have seen them and the changes that they made at my previous district and the amazing things that kids were doing when they put more technology in the classroom. that was my recommendation, and Quest Tech, it's ran by an incredible group of people, and I can't say enough about them. I think that the district will be very happy with the product that they're going to receive.
And just back to the food service management, again, kind of for clarity, because a guaranteed profit of 50K sounds like kind of a lot when you're talking about food service. Like, can you speak to,
Yeah.
like, guaranteed profit to them, to
Yeah.
us? Like, what does that mean?
No, it's, so all in all, food service, our food service is a proprietary budget, right? It has nothing to do with our general fund budget. You won't ever see, us purchasing groceries for anything other than the home economics classes, right? But what happens, you do an RFP, you're required by the state to do an RFP for food services every 5 years. You can approve an RFP for the first year, and you have the opportunity to renew that contract based on an agreement, and that's why I think several of you have agreed to, you've approved several contracts, 2 since I've been here. But you can approve the contract for an additional 4 years. So if you're not happy with the service that you're receiving after year 2, we can go back out to bid. It is like a 3-month process, though, I have to tell you. I started this in early February. Actually, I put it together in January, February, and March, and then we opened the bids late March. But yes, that is a guarantee, because what I'm told the last time we had gone out for
Guaranteed
an
profit to them.
No, a guaranteed
Profit
profit to the
for-
district.
to the district.
Yep, to the
Okay.
district. It's our profit. Because there was competition this year, and I told all of the people that bid to sharpen their pencils, because if Mets wanted to work here, they were going, so everybody had a guarantee except one company. The last time they did an RFP for food service, no one bid on it but Mets. But Mets has been here for 22 years.
They seem
So-
like they're the only game in town.
No, they're really not. They're really not.
Okay.
We had 3.
It's just who we've always had.
Yeah, so this is the first district, I've been doing this for 24 years now, and this is the first district I've ever worked with Mets.
Oh.
I've only ever worked with districts that had Nutrition Group. They're a very large food service company out of West Newton. There's also Southwest Foods, there's also Chartwell's, there's a whole bunch of them across the state, across the country. It all depends on who comes in and wants to take the time to do the RFP. Doing the request for proposal is not for faint of computer skill. It's all Adobe format. The state does not make it easy by any means. It's a lot of documentation.
So we didn't have that profit in our past contract with them, is what you're saying?
No, but because of COVID and because of the money that the state was giving in addition, they were paying us more money to feed kids because of COVID. So we were receiving COVID funds since 2020, so you didn't see a huge drop in anything. You've actually seen, for the past 5 years, you've seen a revenue source with your food service. But before that, you didn't see a revenue source. So this is a guarantee, and we'll be able to put that money, into the services for years to come.
It's a protection against the district, so, a lot of times you go in the red, or there's, they're not running in the black, it falls on the shoulders of the district. So in an initial contract, to get some extra protection, that is the
Meaning
district's best.
debt, like for student accounts.
Correct.
Or just
That-
waste,
Yeah,
natural waste.
that gives us a
Make
protection
food.
against being in the red and then having those funds fall on taxpayers and school. So it's good that we have that in place. It should put everybody at ease
And
and
Mets,
everyone breathe a little easier.
Mets does a really good job of getting, like, we get a lot of USDA commodities, cheeses and hamburger and chicken and things like that. So they really do a great job of managing what the district needs. We did a survey not too long ago. When did we do that? Back in December, January? We did a survey of food service, so we're listening to see what kids want and get, I mean, surprise, surprise, it's more chicken.
It's more Chipotle bar.
Chipotle, yeah, that's true.
Chipotle bar,
Taco
right?
bar, taco bar, salad
They
bar.
want more Chipotle bar, right? Yeah.
Just more real protein, not like ground up mystery meat.
Yeah, the Chipotle.
True. Plus, I think Metz has been with us for a long time, and as you know, not this summer, but next summer, we will be remodeling the cafeteria. We kind of got a setback with the bids coming in extremely high, and we kind of took a step back and to see what we truly needed. And they've been with us this whole time, so I think you'll see even better results when they have a majority of their equipment up and running, unlike they have now.
Yes, and once we get that kitchen in, there should be more
Yeah.
options for students as well. Doesn't
Crazy
help
how
the
fast.
seniors much, but
You will see, I will add to this, I'm sorry, you will see in the next month or so, I'm getting state contract bids for a few pieces of equipment that are also included in our revision of the cafeteria. But our cafeteria, our kitchen really needs some equipment. We have a lot of dead soldiers down there that just are bodies of equipment that don't do anything, that have been there probably for 20 years. So we need to replace some things. So you'll see, I've spoken with Draw Collective, and they've given me a listing of the few things that we can buy that will be incorporated into the renovation whenever it takes place.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, any further discussion? Okay, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? All right, thanks.
Thank you. We have student life next. Mr. Pagoda, Mr. Harris.
So, number one item tonight, Riverview Cross Country Summer Training Camp Retreat, June 19th through the 23rd in this year, Laurelville Retreat Center, Mount Pleasant, PA, at no cost to the district. Do I have a motion?
I will make that motion.
Stephanie, second.
We should probably talk about this, right? Discussion. Discussion?
Are they gonna
Thanks again.
Right?
Every year,
It's amazing,
they
yes.
do a great job,
I
and
love Laurel.
It's the first year they're doing it there. They had to move from their original camp to a new place because there was a scheduling conflict with the place they typically go to. So it'll be something really exciting.
Hopefully they have just as much fun as they had first past. All those in favor of a no-cost retreat for the cross-country team, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Any abstentions? You guys have it?
Thank you. Ms. Schutz, education.
Thank you. 7A, motion to approve education items as presented. 1, disposal of the following textbook, Understanding Psychology, by Richard Caschow, by Glencoe Publishing, copyright 2008, 30 copies with 1 copy remaining on hand as per policy 108. Do I have a motion?
I'll make that motion. Forgive us.
Siri, second.
Any discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? The ayes have it, the motion passes.
Thank you.
Mine also just
Mine just
will not go to the
said
next one.
Yep.
All right. So motion 8A, motion to approve board policies as presented. Board policy review at the third and final reading as listed below. Listed with 300 there. Do I have a motion?
Stephanie, yes. I make a motion. I don't know what I was trying to say, sorry.
Siri, second.
Any discussion?
Stephanie, I'm sorry.
Yes, okay.
Sorry. My
Any
brain-
It's
discussion?
Monday.
No.
Hearing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion passes. Great. Okay, personnel. 9A, motion to approve, for approval of personnel items as presented.
This is
One-
a part one.
Oh, yes, part one. Thank you. Do any of these need to be pulled out?
Nope, that's why you got a part one.
Okay, gotcha. All right. Number one, resignation due to retirement of employee ID 8480, teacher, effective April 23rd, 2025. ESY teachers and professionals as attached for the extended school year, effective July 1, 2025 through July 31st, 2025. Assignment dates vary. 3, summer targeted ingenuity teachers and paraprofessionals for the extended school year, effective July 1, 2025 through July 31st, 2025. 4, new hires, class 3 paraprofessionals with 60 working day probationary period at the compensation rate according to the RSD RESPA CBA pending clearance certification and health requirements, start date being finalized. For A, Yasmin Schmidt, 5.5 paraprofessional. Individuals with Precision HR Solutions, Inc. as substitutes for the 2024-2025 school year, pending any certification requirements. A, Angela Shulo, secretary paraprofessional. B, Shapada Bamra, teacher. C, Russell Rand, teacher, emergency certification. And 6, professional title change for Ms. Sheila Lubert to Director of Finance and Operations, old title Business Manager. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second, Pagoda.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Ayes have it. And 9A, Part 2, motion for approval of personnel items as presented. 7, unpaid leave according to board policy 339 for the following paraprofessionals. A, employee ID 8497 due to family obligation, 2 days, May 1st and 2nd, 2025. And B, employee ID 8503 due to a mission trip, date change, May 4th through 10, 2025. Do I have a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Third, second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions?
I have to abstain. Do I need to say one?
You don't have to. You do. You have to say why. We have to let it form as
I
well.
filled the form. Choose the form.
I know, but it's public.
Okay, well, then that's my mother-in-law who,
There you go.
there you go.
Okay, motion passes. Okay. Yep. Yeah. All right, motion for approval of personnel items as presented. 1, 2024-2025 athletic event workers is detailed below, pending any clearance certification and or health requirements. Mark Carlin, A, Mark Carlin, B, Logan Shanty, and C, Matthew Frazier. 2, 2025-2026 athletic and non-contracted volunteer and club supplemental positions as attached. Additionally, all coaches as event workers. 3, proposed football coaching position adjustments for the 25-26 season, cost neutral, budget adjustments as presented. Thank you.
You don't want to read all the
accept-
positions?
4, accept the resignation of assistant boys varsity soccer coach Patrick O'Toole. And 5, the 2024-2025 duration and 2025-2026 supplemental position is detailed below, pending any certification and/or health requirements. A, girls varsity soccer coach Jessica Garland. Do I have a motion?
I'll make that motion.
I'll
Harry,
second that.
Sorry, who got second? The one.
We'll give it to Steph.
I've already.
Ms. Garabay. Garabay, yes.
Second.
Any discussion?
Welcome, Jessica.
Yes.
I'm gonna get a vote.
Oh,
All those in favor, please signify by
Oh,
saying aye.
sorry.
Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Ayes have it. Okay, so we are now to our second hearing of citizens. This can be regarding any topics that you would like to present. If you'd like to speak, please sign in, come up to the microphone, state your name and address. Please keep your comments to 3 minutes or less. And please keep in mind that the board does not typically respond to public comment, but rather takes the hearing into consideration for future governance. And please realize all comments and meetings are recorded.
Hi, Sylvia Sullivan, 139 Oak Meadow. I just wanted to comment on the start times. I actually don't really know where I stand, which is interesting because normally I have an opinion, but I do think it's good that you're surveying the kids, that you're surveying, because the first survey that went out was just asking if we were okay with you considering it. So people are taking that as like, people were saying, yes, we want that, and I said, yes, go ahead and consider it. I didn't mean yes, like, that's what I want to do, because I don't feel like we have enough information for that. So I just want to be clear that I didn't really feel like that was what that survey was asking. So when other people are saying, well, you have all these people saying you want this, I don't know that that's really true, because that was just this, I'm willing for you guys to consider anything, you know what I mean? So I think that, we need to consider that and then look at these new results and what the kids think, what the parents think after they know what the logistics are gonna be. So I think there are a lot of things I heard last time on both sides of like kids that need to work, and I didn't really think about that, or morning routine of people, you know, that work, parents that work, things like that, because my schedule's flexible, but other people's isn't. So I was like torn, it was really hard. I'm sure you guys have a hard decision to make. So I just think let's wait and look at everything before you guys make a decision. So I appreciate all the surveys and evaluating things before the decision's made. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Speaking of that, can we look at possibly like the schedule for the high school? I know that there's several parents have reached out about the like high school schedule and they're worried about boards and stuff, and changing that time. Because they currently, like some of the morning students currently come back during fourth period, which is now a study hall, and
But Forbes has to wait for all the districts to give them their
I know.
schedule and
I know.
everything to like, so they have to work around everybody else.
I know.
So-
I'm talking about our own schedule. I guess there's concerns parents are having with like children that are either like that there's not going to be able to get those core classes, like there's students at Forbes, that there's students that are at Forbes that aren't getting those core classes anymore, and then if they change their mind and decide that they don't want to do what they were doing at Forbes anymore, like their senior year or something, then they can't be eligible for NCAA like scholarships, for instance, because they didn't have the required number of core classes to graduate. I mean, we allow them to
We are
graduate.
responsible for their core classes.
Right,
As-
we allow them to graduate, but we also have, the NCAA has to approve the classes that we deem as core classes. If they do not consider one class, a science class, for instance, when we were talking about that, right? The engineering class, for instance, if they don't consider that a science class, then that's not one of their core classes, and you can be ineligible for, a scholarship through them, even though we allow them to graduate and we consider it a core class. That's what I'm saying.
But what I'm saying is Forbes has to adjust their start time to all the district start times, so they have to wait for everybody's schedule to come in, for them to consider, okay, we need to actually start at this time, and our date needs to start at this time based on what we receive from the school, so that it isn't, so this schedule may, like, it can be adjusted. And it's not that the students don't get those core classes, because they are, I know there's a difference between taking them online and being in class, but ultimately, you know, we get this, Forbes isn't providing core classes. Forbes is not an academic, Forbes is a career tech school.
I'm not saying that they should be.
We as a district at the high school are responsible for making sure that those are available to our students.
Which is.
So like that falls, but that falls on us.
Yeah.
That's what I was asking for, our schedule.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. It would be nice if we could see like the high school schedule to see how it's laid out between the junior high and the senior high, because we currently have it that the senior or the junior high teachers only teach downstairs, and their two prep period, like all of their core classes are in the morning, and their two prep periods are in the afternoon. So then that means that they're not teaching our senior students. So I'm wondering if there's flexibility there. So I agree with you. It is on our end of that to fix that.
Gotcha, I
Yes.
misunderstood.
So
That was part of our additional work that we were
Yeah,
gonna
yeah,
do,
we
is
have
to
to,
look
we
into the
definitely
Forbes
have to
schedule.
figure out, we don't have a
Yeah.
lot of flexibility in terms of when students leave or come back, but we have flexibility within the schedule. And those issues still need to be worked out, for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
There are other schools that have done it, so we have to kind of reach out and figure out what they've done. Because obviously we don't want any of our Forbes students to not have the same opportunities everybody else has.
Right.
So, there's, no matter what the schedule or the surveys come out at, we have to figure that issue out
Right.
with 100% certainty.
Yeah.
So there's still a lot of work to be done there.
And I just also ask because I think it also trickles into other things too. I mean, school start times I think is a great place that segues for that, but I think that trickles into how our teachers being utilized, because now we have, for sure, 2 prep periods for all of our junior high teachers, but then not always for our senior high teachers and stuff. Could we be diversifying some of that work and stuff, like?
So I think that's part of the whole, when they're
No,
working on
absolutely.
the whole
That's what I'm
thing,
saying.
so.
Yeah.
I'm just giving more of an explanation of why.
Any other?
Yeah, Paul had something.
Okay, the budget, so that
Please
budget.
restate your address.
Oh my gosh, you guys know it. Paula Tomlinson, 234 3rd Street.
I couldn't pass that up, I'm
I
sorry.
know, the smart pants.
I've never seen you before.
Yeah, hi, I'm new here. How are you? So that budget meeting, is that instead of or in addition to like the budget presentation meeting we would have on a Monday night?
You will have
In
the budget
addition.
in addition to.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's okay, that's cool.
It'll just preface the,
More like work
the
session,
committee
I guess.
will see it, and anyone who
Okay,
joins in.
work session.
Yeah.
Okay. Number 2, the time change. I answered the survey in one direction. When I went home after last week's meeting, I spoke to my junior high student as well as my college student and said, can you believe it? Wouldn't that be cool? You could sleep in? And both of them were like, so really? They said, none of our friends want it. I went, okay. I said, if you get a survey, answer it truthfully and honestly. You have to think about it. And I hope that we get the students' results. And similar to what you all said, depending on the numbers, you know, we've been here before doing surveys, and you get out of 1,000 parents, we get, 200, maybe 200. So I hope we can all beg our friends and neighbors and please answer this survey, because it's a huge change. And you're considering so many things. The detailed work you did was unbelievable, and it's all things that would affect all of us but none of us would think about that till, it would be in effect. So I really, really appreciate that, but I couldn't believe how many thumbs down I got from
Can you say why?
students.
They just didn't,
I
was just curious.
They just want to get here and get it over with.
Yeah.
That's
No,
a great, that's a
So
great
many,
secret.
there were students that messaged me on Instagram and saying at our meeting, and they were like, no, and I was like, I get it, because when we went to the high school, we were like, oh, we get to leave early, like
Yeah.
2:00, yes,
Yeah.
sign me up, I'll be out.
So I filled out the new survey and,
Did the job
but I
working
will
there till
be,
7 p.m.
I'm gonna shout it to the rooftops for everybody to answer it truthfully.
We'll put out a few reminders.
Thank you.
Okay, welcome.
I'll be quick, one more time, I don't know if I have to state my address again, but.
Nope, you're good.
Okay, great. So I had come in and I was very for it, and I've had people reach out to me and tell me their reasons why they are against it, so I can see you have a difficult decision and there's no perfect answer to it. And I do also appreciate all the PowerPoints and also the secondary survey. I had even more questions after looking at it though, so I don't know if it would be something you'd all consider doing, like a document where people could ask questions and it could be like almost like a frequently asked questions where you answered how this will look if this happens, because so many people have so many different situations, or any type of meeting and where maybe not even where people are discussing their own opinions, but just asking questions about how this will affect different situations. Because even after looking at the second survey, I started going, well, wait, what about this, or what about this? And some of them were pro and some of them were con, so that's all. And good luck with this decision.
Do we think a town hall?
Hopefully people will fill in that open-ended field at the end of the survey.
So this is the public meeting, these are public meetings, that's why.
I mean, you'll put that in there just so that it was like, if you have any other
Yeah.
feedback, please provide it, because there could be something we haven't thought of, like that somebody has an issue with or
Right.
something,
And there could be a question that someone else had that I would like answered that I didn't even think of. So if it was just something constructive and
Yeah.
questions.
And people can always email the school board, directly, and
Mhm.
Dr. English as well, so we get those and we review them, so. More information we have from the public, the better, because it is it's a big change, so, for a lot of people, so.
And the only way, the town hall I get great, but the town hall meetings are usually like me, Sylvia.
Yeah.
I mean.
You're not wrong, you're not wrong, it's gonna be the same people that we see all the time.
We have professional doctors that come in and teach us about, vaping and sleep studies
Yeah, that
and
was
and
crazy.
everything.
And 4
and
people
there's
come.
like 4 of us. But if you schedule it on a budget,
I would go.
if you schedule when there's budget talks,
I could
You're
probably
fine.
give you that sleep
Nice
study,
Sam, pop
You'll
sleep
get-
doctor speech,
yeah,
because,
A budget meeting in a town hall.
yeah.
Oh, it sounds
Yeah.
fun.
Because I've seen like 4 of them.
Yeah.
Should we bring a cot?
Pizzas, all right,
Red Bull.
so let's move to our.
Any other hearing of
committee
citizens?
reports. Finance committee, and Sheila presented for us, the meeting committee will be just the next update with information May 7th. Brian, do you have anything? Nope. Okay.
Nope, nothing else.
Education committee?
Thank you. From 10th Street Elementary, they are working on PSSA preparation and testing. This year marks the first experience with online testing. The students have felt confident and prepared by completing online Firefly assessments provided by the Department of Education from the state. PSSA testing schedules are ELA Wednesday, April 23rd through Friday, April 25th. Math is Monday, April 28th to Tuesday, April 29th. Science is Thursday, May 1st to Friday, May 2nd for 4th grade only. They did do a PSSA video contest to continue building a positive testing culture, which this was debuted last year. Students in grades 3 through 6 are invited to create short videos encouraging peers to do their best on tests. They include test-taking tips, reminders to get a good night's sleep, and the importance of eating a healthy breakfast. Winning videos will be featured on the morning show, and creators will enjoy pizza party lunch. Field trips and academic or enrichment opportunities. Kindergarten in the spring goes to Living Trees. First grade goes to Beechwood Farms. Second grade to the Bayham Theater. Third grade to Kerr Museum, and 4th grade to Old Economy Village. These experiences support curriculum goals and provide students with hands-on learning outside the classroom. Speaking of outside the classroom, there's discussion about an outdoor classroom initiative. PTO is exploring the possibility of adding an outdoor classroom space to school grounds, working currently with playground companies and receiving one formal bid with additional proposals expected. The initiative would enhance both instructional flexibility and outdoor learning experiences for students and teachers alike. At Verner, Duquesne Light conducted a presentation about energy and energy resources to 7th grade. Report cards were sent home April 2nd. On April 7th, Westfield Bank came and had 2 assemblies, one for grades K through 3. Talked about what a banker did and how they helped the community. They also identified types of coins, what they were worth. They pretended to buy items using the coins. Grades 4 through 6 had an assembly talking about differences in needs versus wants. I think I could use that same assembly sometimes. They also talked about saving money, basics of loans, and how interest works. The PSSA testing will begin after spring break for 2 weeks. This is the first elementary the testing online again. The junior senior high school, 4th 9 week grades. 4th 9 weeks started on 3/31. Report cards were available April 2nd. Classroom observations are complete. The master schedule is completed. Student schedules are run, and school counselor meetings have begun with individual students to review and modify. PA college and career standards that are state required for graduation. Activities are complete for the year, and seniors had their mock interviews. iReady assessments, third administration scheduled for 3/25-3/26 before PSSA Keystones. 7th and 8th grade testing is to help identify gaps that need to be addressed before the end of the year. Typical growth and the average growth for students at grade level. So we did see some good improvement. Grade 7 reading, 43 on the typical growth and 13 on the stretch. 70% are at or above grade level for 7th grade reading. 8th grade reading, 50% typical growth. And 12% stretch growth with 73% at or above grade level. Math in 7th grade, 71% typical growth and 51% stretch, and 71% or at or above grade level. Math in grade 8, 60% typical growth and 23% stretch, 59% are at or above grade level. They had the PSSA kickoff junior hall town hall last Friday. National History Day state competition was over the weekend. We had a really good showing, proud of our kids for that. The 25th, there's a wellness fair. The 29th, community and belonging assembly for 7th and 8th grade. PSSAs for ELA are the 23rd to the 25th. Math and science are the 29th through May 2nd. AP testing is May 5th through 16th. Keystone testing for Algebra 1, Bio, ELA 10 are May 13th through 14th, and that will run on a 2-hour delay schedule. The 20th through 21st, Keystone testing for Algebra 1. 5/14 is Forbes graduation at Gateway High School to celebrate our students who attend Forbes. 5/16 is the American Legion Awards for 8th grade. 5/7 is the Senior Awards at the Oaks. 5/22 is the Underclassmen Awards at 10th Street. And 5/29 is 7th grade orientation for parents and students. High school finals are being developed, and on June 5th, I can't even believe we're talking about this yet, is graduation. End of report. I hope it doesn't rain.
That's like all of
She
it.
got all of your heads, okay?
Please don't rain.
She did half of my report, so.
Right,
Sorry, it was
I
all
love it.
there. Sorry.
I was stuck in the
Student life.
last year, that was terrible.
Was there, we good? Was there safety?
Safety.
No?
Oh, sorry, safety.
We met, we will meet again. No, there's nobody got hurt in April, it's all good news. Yeah, we'll meet in May, the end.
Switching.
All right.
There were events,
There were.
student life.
Ready?
All right. Start with Verner. Verner had book buddies come from the junior senior high school on March 12th. Mystery Lovers was the vendor for the spring book fair again, which is awesome.
Yeah.
And they had a packed house for the art show and open house on March 27th. Over at 10th Street, they also had the spring book fair and also partnered with local bookstore Mystery Lovers. Students and families enjoyed browsing and purchasing books throughout the week. Art show and family art night on April 3rd took place. We had a fantastic turnout of parents, students who came to admire the beautiful artwork displayed throughout the building, and many took the opportunity to visit the book fair. We had our spring weather drill on April 8th, students and staff practiced our emergency procedures in preparation for possible severe weather conditions. On Thursday, April 10th, we welcomed Mike Kazam for a special Kindness Counts assembly. Mike is a magician, former teacher, and counselor. His show blended magic and fun with a powerful message on the importance of practicing kindness every day. Number 5, my favorite event of the year, popular Donuts with Dad event is being held over 2 days on April 22nd, which is already sold out, and on April 24th, which as of a couple days ago still had a few spots left. Each session is capped at 300 attendees, and only a few spots remain. There's planning is underway for the next school year. Parents were invited to submit classroom requests by April 4th, and we have also asked families to inform us if they anticipate moving over the summer so that we can plan accordingly for student transitions. And finally, at 10th Street, for a wellness initiative, Wellness Committee is promoting a Skip the Screens week from April 28th through May 2nd. During this week, we will encourage families to limit recreational screen time and enjoy more in-person family activities, outdoor play, and non-digital experiences. Now for our clubs over at the junior senior high school, art club. The art classes are taking an Earth Day trip to the Goodwill outlet to collect alternative materials for an upcoming sculpture project. Students will learn about artists that create assemblages. Also, our annual art show is scheduled for May 14th from 6 to 7:30 in the cafeteria, and will feature works from all students grades 7 through 12. Bible Club is planning a trip to participate at the Point on May 1st. All Bible clubs from public schools will be joining. It's the National Day of Prayer, and Bible Club continues to meet Fridays before school in the library. The Cultures Club is going on their last field trip for the year on, looks like it already happened, on 4/7. They went to the Museum of Art, where they studied Latin artists. French Club is going on they went with the Cultures Club. All right. French Club also went to the Carnegie Museum of Art. I wish French Club and Culture Club do everything together, and I love that. Gaming Club, they have a handful more sessions. 3 groups running in different adventures. We continue to run sessions about every 2 weeks. The students have leveled up their characters to level 2, battling raging bears, zombies, and pixies, among other things. This is Dungeons and Dragons for anybody that's...
okay.
It doesn't matter what it is, I have no idea.
It sounds awesome, and Mr. Hewitt is psyched about it. They have to
They
have...
want to learn about the scrapbooking, they can call me.
This is a pretty intense game, very
I'm
involved
sure it
and
is.
strategic.
It's legit. Gay Straight Alliance students, GSA students are still concerned about changing attitudes about the LGBTQ plus community and how it reflects on trans kids, trans athletes, and parental rights to medically and emotionally treat their LGBTQ plus children. Students would like to try and plan a gay dance, inviting students from other high schools' GSAs for early winter next year. There was a gay prom in the plans, but they had trouble locating a venue, so shifted it to the fall. So hopefully we can get something more in the fall. Okay. For gifted students, 6 students attended the Quiz Bowl event on Saturday at Duquesne. And then on the 31st, there was a high school chess tournament. 10 students attended at Pine Richland. Model UN in History attended an in-person seminar at Duquesne on March 19th about U.S. and China relations. And also on April 12th and 13th, 28 students participated in the state finals of National History Day in Scranton. For Model UN, students won 4 awards at the Rome Conference, and the final conference of the year was on April 9th. Inclusive Leaders had their carnival on a pretty cold Thursday last week. In addition to Polar Sprinkle ran that night, students had games and over 20 raffle prizes, and a visit from the Pittsburgh Pierogi and the Mountain Elite. The sensory-friendly dance has been canceled due to lack of interest, but there will be a silent ring, or there was a silent. For junior class prom, information was sent in an email on the website. Kids made a display in the main hallway to announce prom. Junior high student council has been working to motivate 7th and 8th grade students as they move into the 4th quarter, and they're having spirit days to encourage homeroom spirit and supporting junior high programming at the tournament and town hall events. Key Club had their next event planned, Mess Fest on May 21st. They're raising money for the Thirst Project to build clean water wells in Africa. They were unable to attend the conference this year, but the officers are looking at possibly offering a service trip for next year. The Ecology Club has ordered 600 tree seedlings to be sorted and distributed the week of April 21st. Earth Day it will be on Tuesday the 22nd. And they will sort each of these seedlings to be handed out for elementary school classrooms, which is very cool. NHS just finished a successful fundraiser with Applelicious. Apples will be delivered this week. Academy of Science will be attending state competition on Monday, May 19th at Penn State. SAD is planning a mock crash for Thursday, May 1st with Oakmont EMC, EMT, and possibly the ACPD. Waiting to hear from them. Senior class had a meeting to find out what games are played and what type of food needs ordered. So fill out the form with the borough and return by May 23rd. We're closing in here, folks, don't worry. Spanish Club went to see a Spanish culture and music show held at Franklin Regional High School. Several students went on stage and learned some dances with the performers. Kieran Pisoni, Campbell Miller, Kara Johnson, Jack Flanick. We are working on t-shirts design and also planning to collaborate with Pitt for some language and culture sessions. Senior high student council members are currently wrapping up April food drive by tallying all donated food items. We've also begun planning for next year's homecoming, looking for theme ideas. Since homecoming will take place in early September, we need to get a head start. And finally, the yearbook club is getting pages done and taking pictures for spring tours and other spring activities. Sales for yearbooks ends April 30th.
Thank you. Great.
Thank you.
All right, policy committee?
No report.
And yeah, we just had a meeting on the 9th, and reviewed 300 policies that needed looked at, and there wasn't really much there, so we'll be moving forward. Our next meeting won't be until the fall to work on the next section, so it's been a great adventure.
Just to clarify, you didn't look at 300 policies.
No,
but
correct,
yeah.
300 level policies. It feels like 300
Well,
policies.
yeah, maybe.
I feel like, yeah.
Just for
Like
clarification.
That
300
spreadsheet's pretty.
Close. It feels like it.
Yeah.
It's fine. No, that's really interesting. I do encourage anyone who's interested in going. The meetings are really enlightening. But it's important work. So looking to see, what's in all of them, and just kind of taking it, even if it's just an overview to make sure we're on the right track. It's been good work. So yeah, that's where we're at.
Right, PSBA liaison report?
Yes, so I don't have a report because they haven't sent it to me yet, but they do have a few events that are coming up at the end of the year. And one of the biggest ones is the legislative day that is coming up next month. I know that the AU is also promoting this, but especially for my fellow board members, but then our community members. This is a chance for us and actually students to be honest, well, don't miss school, or ask. But the idea is that in DC there is a specific day where fellow board members, community members, students, and activists for education reform can go to DC and meet with legislators all around the country, but also in particular to Pennsylvania. They'll all be there. They'll all be listening to our feedback at that time. And PA is one of the most needed states in terms of education reform. We rank, I think, 47 out of 50 states. And so just looking at how we fund our schools, how much we put into charter schools versus public schools, how much we are making sure that our students are well provided for in terms of money allocation, tuition rates. So all of those things, those are major important factors, and so that's one of the big things I know that they want us to be highlighting especially. And then when I get the report though, I will send it out to the board, and then we can post it as well.
Thank you. Communications?
Yep. So obviously this piggybacks on a lot of what has been mentioned, education and student life already. Always updating all of our channels, so both the websites for district-wide as well as all the buildings, and now obviously also our YouTube page. I think it's been really successful in making sure that all our meetings are posted, people can find them, you know, recorded and subsequent documents that are attached and things. So making sure that's all out there for people. And then in addition to that, also attending the musical, Something Rotten, which was very successful, photographing that and covering that story of the success of the students and the production. In addition, updating the athletics website with the 21st annual Round Ball Classic and the Burl Bucks winning the Challenge Cup State Championship, which are, we have a Riverview student who takes part in that. And also finalizing the reader-friendly version of the 2025-2028 strategic plan, which is out there as well on the website for folks to review. Generating posts on social media, both Facebook and Twitter, including board meeting announcements. The spring musical, Katarina Sambas was named Basketball Player of the Year for our area by the Valley News Dispatch, I think. The chorus trip to Hawaii, also a lot of great photos out there. Multiple Model UN posts and the PIA Spring Sports Officials Appreciation Week. In addition to other updates, superintendent's bulletin, the homepage slideshow, food services page as well. And then separate stories added for the course honoring the Vietnam veterans at the National Parade in Honolulu. As I mentioned, Kat Sambas winning the Basketball Player of the Year and Model UN, as well as them reaching 50 awards for the third consecutive year, as well as the National History Day regional competition. So we continue to gain followers on those channels, and if there's anything that we missed, just send it along. We'll make sure to get it updated. That's everything.
Boards?
Okay, so April 30th, I think I had last said that April 8th was gonna be the career signing day at PNC Park, and I was wrong, it's actually April 30th. And then the senior certificate ceremony, like Erin said, is May 14th at Gateway, and they've had a really good year. Nocti testing was last month, and I was pretty impressed by what the teachers have been teaching the students and how well the students actually performed on the hands-on test, so great work. That's all I have.
Thank you. Legislative.
Thanks. There's a lot, just warning you. The governor hasn't signed anything at this time, but a lot has passed in the House and the Senate at the state level, including House Bill 240, which is about hearing aid tests. This was like a passage of what happened last year, because quite honestly, like the bus drivers just have to do way too much if they have a hearing aid. To be able to be a bus driver, it's a lot. And so it basically eliminates the second hearing test. So hopefully that passes the Senate, because that would help everyone across the state be able to have more bus drivers potentially be eligible to drive. This one was really interesting. I didn't see this coming. House Bill 308 creates a public sector OSHA regulation in law. Public sector has been exempt from OSHA as long as I've ever known. Many other states have the same. So it passed the House. Obviously, it has to pass the Senate. There's a lot of opposition from many parties. We'll see what happens. I'm not holding out a lot of hope. It was very party line in the House, so we'll see. I understand the intent. I don't think it's something that we're already not reporting. It would just be like a duplicate reporting would be my guess. Really great, House Bill 472 expands the ability of homeless youth to get a driver's license by waiving the fee and making it allowed that they could use their shelter or their school as their address to be able to get their driver's license. So I thought that was actually a great, that doesn't always happen, but I was like, all right, that's actually helpful. House Bill 819 is about AP courses, establishing access to rigorous courses of study. We already have all of this in place, so we're good. It will, however, pay for the AP exam. It passes the Senate. So that would be great for us because we could recoup funds. So, we'll see if that happens. House Bill 325 is about school district tax notices. Like to delineate that the tax relief is from casino, gaming revenue, not gaming revenue, like from the lottery, because that goes to seniors. I was like, okay, so people have to rewrite something on the tax notice, is basically what I took away from that. House Bill 354 is about what's your Pennsylvania story? Overwhelmingly passed the House, asking the Department of Ed, to the extent funding is available, to develop a course for optional use that can be used for social studies instruction, basically talking about like the founding of the state, etc. Sounds like more like elementary level information. And then in committees, Labor and Industry, House Bill 200 is about family and medical leave program, establishing a statewide family and medical leave program to provide up to 20 weeks of paid family and medical leave to eligible applicants. So, it would be funded by employee and employer equally, so. And then House Bill 265, unemployment compensation for school staff, to make them eligible to get unemployment if they do not get paid over the summer. Commerce Committee is about, House Bill 685 is about making schools take cash for events. So we'll see where that goes. And then the state Senate passed Senate Bill 315 is about CTE equipment funding. It basically is bringing CTEs up to the funding levels that like your typical public school would receive. So hopefully that will help Forbes Road and some other, funneling CTEs. Senate Education Committee had hearings on CTEs specifically. I linked the video if people wanted to watch it. Just asking about like how they run, and it's just providing more information. And then they also put out of committee Senate Bill 470, a firefighter training pilot program, which would be awesome, creates like a pathway for high school students, and to get college credit potentially. So it looked promising. It would help. We all have issues in our communities with volunteer firefighters, so maybe would assist with that. Passed in the Transportation Committee, Senate Bill 65, enhancing school bus safety, increasing the distance requirement from 10 feet to 15 feet before reaching the school bus with like the arms and the signals and things like that. And making like a tiered penalty system if you get a ticket if you violated the school bus requirements when they are lit up. Labor and Industry, just another equal pay law. I don't know, I guess there's like, isn't like a specific thing about discriminatory wage practices. So I don't think that's like a super big issue in school districts necessarily, but Veterans Affairs and Emergency Preparedness Committee, there was a resolution requesting a study on junior ROTC programs, just to see what the health of those programs are and like are there resources needed in some parts of the state. Appropriations, lots of action. The governor's budget office secretary presented and answered questions to the appropriations committee for the House and the Senate. As well, the auditor general testified for the House and the Senate appropriations. I linked again, he talked a lot about the cyber charter school audit, which I shared with everyone previously, which I still haven't read because it's just gonna make me really angry. So,
I'm sure it's light reading.
Yes, yeah, I know, but I love an auditor general report of any kind, but that one's gonna make me really mad, so.
Not a single person
Yeah,
ever.
no,
You were the
that's the
first.
only one.
But I love that for you.
Yes,
I love it.
yes, yeah, nerd, capital N. So, yeah, and then they talked about like the, financial literacy initiative, which we're ahead of the curve on, so that was, great. And then PDE also testified before the House Appropriations Committee and the Senate Appropriations Committee, about all kinds of school-related things. The House and the Senate Appropriations and Education Committees are both very concerned about federal funding and what is potentially or not potentially coming down the pipe, regarding that. Just they have lots of questions, like, to prepare for any eventuality. So that's pretty much that. And then the State Board of Education did meet about arts and humanities. Specifically, they talked a lot about PE. They basically want to look at the standards again, was the takeaway that I had. And then again, discussion on the financial literacy and career readiness classes. And then they also talked about the teacher recruitment and retention, and talking about how they can continue to increase that. I guess they did like a special initiative, to get special ed teachers certified, and they got 142 in 18 months in this initiative, so they're talking about like how they can expand that program. And then, I mean, there's lots of things going on in Congress, but there's nothing to like tell you that's like definitively gonna occur, so I'll spare you. And then I'm sure Antonio will share about PSBA's legislative platform information that they're asking for, and the cyber charter funding. PSBA is very focused on that as well. So that's all I have. Yeah.
Eastern area.
Yeah, nothing earth-shattering over on Eastern area side. We met on March 27th. Shout out to, I think it was Dave Santos for dressing up like Campos, for dressing up like a leprechaun on St. Patrick's Day and playing tricks on like every student in the entire building throughout the entire day. Like, we saw videos, pictures, it looked like an absolute blast. Shout out to Dave for that. But other than that, nothing to report on the Eastern area.
Do they have a graduation?
They do. I don't know the date. Do you know the date, Neil? Actually, I don't. Not off the top of my head. I can certainly find out. Share. Yeah. We didn't even. Yeah. We didn't graduate.
No, yeah, you didn't discuss that.
Some of this, I think a lot of the students go until they're 22 and some will go like through nothing, so.
Yeah,
they take
I
before,
don't
so.
think we've ever heard details of like, what's going on? Do they have, what do they do?
Yeah.
What's the school's name? Because it's not Eastern area.
We honestly
Sunrise.
should go.
Yeah.
So
The Sunrise School.
They're
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
will
sure they do a
find,
special ceremony.
I'll find out for you.
Yeah, no problem.
Happy to.
Solicitors report.
Yes, I'd just like to report that after 6 negotiation sessions, we have been successful in negotiating a tentative collective bargaining agreement with our support staff. We'll be finalizing that over the next few weeks, and it should be on the agenda to vote on in May. That's all.
Thank you. And also to report that we had an executive meeting held prior to the meeting on Monday, April 7th, to discuss RESPA contract negotiations, special education matters, and IT director personnel. And we also had an executive session meeting prior to the meeting tonight on April 14th to discuss RESPA contract negotiations. We did a meet and greet with Jessica Garland, our new girls varsity soccer coach, and we received information regarding a meeting with the borough regarding the details of the field light project. All right.
Before we adjourn, can I add on to Jen's communication real quick, because information was added after we reported, but like you wouldn't have gotten a report yet. Kat Sambas with her Player of the Year will be acknowledged at the Alekiski Hall of Fame event on May 17th. In addition to that, we also have 3 students that were playing on the Borough hockey team that will also be acknowledged, Landon Johnson, Asher Ross, and Mikey Morasic. And then we also have 2 alumni. We have Paul Sapochny as one of our coaches. More years at Greensburg Salem, but he did great years here at Riverview. He's being put into the Hall of Fame, as well as Don Frederick, who was a Raider football coach, not just at Riverview, but also at Verona. He was also a teacher in our school district for a number of years. So just in case anybody's interested, you remember Don Frederick, don't you? Wanted to make sure they knew that date before it was too late at the next meeting, so.
Thank
Cool.
you.
Thank you.
All right. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Stephanie.
Oh, I got you.
Stephanie, yes.